transformation. I'm Dr. Ferris Corbett, alongside my colleague, Dr. Deidre Willis, and we want to thank you for joining us today. We don't take it lightly that you've chosen to spend this time with us. Here at Health Talk, our goal is simple: to provide you with clear, trustworthy, and practical health information so that you can make informed decisions about your life, your wellness, and the well-being of those you love. From public health to mental health, from prevention to healing, we believe knowledge is power, but wisdom is action. And together, we'll explore both. So, settle in, open your mind and heart, and let's take this journey toward health, hope, and wholeness together.
Well. Good evening, family, friends, and everyone, and welcome back to Health Talk. I'm your host, Dr. Ferris Corbett, and Dr. Willis will be joining us shortly, okay? All right, listen, we are super excited to have you with us tonight. Again, we have another amazing topic that I think you're going to find very informative, very beneficial, and all that other good stuff. All right. I am indeed grateful to you for taking time out of your schedule to join us here on Health Talk tonight. So do me a favor. Go ahead, like, tag, share, let somebody know that Health Talk is here. We're on the line. We're live. Go ahead, tell somebody. Do us that favor, please. Go ahead and tag somebody. And again, as I say, welcome. We appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you, our faithful viewers and listening audience. Again, thank you so very kindly. Your support means much to myself and Dr. Willis. Okay? So we are super excited to have you here. And if you don't mind, just go ahead in the comment chat section, drop a little line and let us know where you're watching us from. We'd love to hear from you and to hear what you have to say to us. We appreciate you to the highest. All right. So tonight we are talking about a new frontier in sexual health, and that is Doxy-PEP, short for doxycycline post-exposure prophylactic. Doxy-PEP. Now, this is when a single dose of the doxycycline, which is an antibiotic, is taken within 72 hours of sexual contact to help prevent certain sexually transmitted infection. Now, studies have shown there to be some promising results, but it is not without controversy. Okay, who should be using it? What about antibiotic resistance? Hmm? And are we making sure everyone has access? Are we making sure that everyone have access to it and not just those with resources? Hosea 4 and 6 reminds us, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Tonight, we want to give knowledge because prevention is power. We have CC Dr. Willis have joined us. Thank you so much, Dr. Willis, for joining us on tonight. All right. You want to say anything before we move any further? We just was doing our introduction. And so,
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
thank you, Dr. Willis, and we're glad that you're able to join us tonight. All right. As with every episode that we do, we start off with our Did You Know fact. And tonight, STIs, sexual transmitted infections, are record high in the United States. 2.5 million, million, 2.5 million combined combined cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis was reported in 2023. Okay, so that's 2.5 million combined cases, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis in 2023. And this, of course, is from the CDC. Now, gay and bisexual men's and transgender women's have been studied the most with using this doxy-PEP. And the results have shown that 65 to 88% reduction in syphilis and gonorrhea, and about 50%, I'm sorry, 65 to 88% reduction in syphilis and chlamydia, and about 50% for gonorrhea. But here is the concern. Widespread antibiotic use could accelerate drug-resistant gonorrhea, which is already labeled as a major global threat by who? The World Health Organization. So, doxy-PEP is both breakthrough and a balancing act. Dr. Willis, you want to say anything on that before we move any further?
Yes. So a couple of things. One, I'd like to say that these are diagnosed cases because so many
Correct.
people, as
Correct.
a primary care provider and who sees a wide population of women and men, um, there so many people ignore their symptoms or attribute it to, um, for especially females, to bacterial or vaginosis, or it's just a yeast infection, and oftentimes they treat their symptoms and aren't seen by a medical provider. So with that being said, there's so many cases that are going undiagnosed that we can't even account for. That's first and foremost what I wanted to say. I also wanted to say is that contraception is key. I'm sure you're going to get to that. I'm always talking ahead of him. I've got to do better about that. I'm gonna do better, but
Yeah.
contraception is key. But Doxy-PEP is a. I pulled some my research, and I saw we were going to talk about this tonight, Dr. Corbin, and I said, "Oh, okay."
Yes.
But the overuse of antibiotics can increase the risk of those super infections. And
That's
so,
true.
what happens when you need to treat the your patient and their sensitivity to doxycycline is not what it could be. So
Right.
therefore, the infection that we call a superbug, you can't treat them. So now you're looking at a different class or type of antibiotic that would be
Right.
most beneficial to them. So um, it's inventive, but there's plus and minuses with it.
Exactly. Exactly. And Dr. Willis brought out a very, very uh, good point, and that is that the cases that we mentioned, these are the documented and officially diagnosis, but that number could be so much higher because of the cases that don't get reported, as Dr.
Mhm.
Willis has stated. So it is something that we really need to uh, think about and look into, and that's why we're here tonight providing you this information so that you can to increase your awareness. Okay. So now, so Doxy-PEP is not a vaccine. It is not a daily medication. It's not something you take every day like PrEP for HIV. It is a targeted preventative strategy. Okay. So with it, you will be taking like 200 milligrams of doxycycline within 72 hours after sexual intercourse. Now, what it prevents, it has, like we say, has been shown to reduce syphilis and chlamydia significantly, and with some benefit for gonorrhea. All right, and who it studied? Who were the case studies for this? Primarily, it was men who have sex with men and transgender women at high risk for recurrent sexual STIs. Now, let's pause here. Although that is important, what we just said, the information, but it's also limiting. Most of the major study so far have focused strictly on uh, men's having sex with men and transgender women. And that's because these groups statistically carry the highest rate of STI incidents. But here is the reality that does not entail heterosexuals, bisexuals, pansexuals, and those that may be on the down low or DL men and women are immune from these STIs. It simply means the science has not studied them enough yet. Dr. Willis, you want to say something on that before we move a little further?
Yeah, when we think about any studies, it's the amount of persons your help me long day. It's the amount of persons or who choose or participants who
Right.
choose to participate and come forward, who've been diagnosed or who have these symptoms, who are practicing or in this certain lifestyle, and not showing any type of judgment there, because it can be any lifestyle, but you need a cohort of heterosexuals, you
You
need
do.
a cohort of
Correct.
homosexuals, you need a cohort of bisexuals, you need a cohort
Correct.
of whatever the case may be. You have to have so many persons within a
Correct.
whole study to be able to have an adequate comparison.
Correct.
Sometimes that takes years.
Years. Yes.
Sometimes that takes years. And one other thing, I know when we mentioned doxycycline, just for full transparency, doxycycline is a broad spectrum antibiotic. It's also used for many different things.
Right.
So we don't want to um, confuse anyone if they're using doxycycline for a skin infection or
Right.
cellulitis, or they used it for um, acne,
Correct.
because it can be prescribed to that, or the treatment of COPD exacerbation, or bronchitis or pneumonia. So there's
Yes.
many different reasons that this medication can be used, and we're just bringing out one new um,
Correct.
way that it's being used.
Correct.
I
And,
just want to clarify that.
and thank you so much, Dr. Willis, for bringing that point out about the doxycycline being a broad spectrum antibiotic. So we don't, as you say, don't want people to kind of fear and panic that they got an STI because they're on that medication. So thank you so much for bringing that point out. All right. So now, as we were saying, Dr. Willis and I were saying, because a broad spectrum of cohorts have not been considered in this study, there that's the reason why there is some limitation to the study. Because right now the only groups that they looked at was the men who have sex with men and transgender women's. Those are the only two major groups that they study. And like we said, they studied those two groups because statistically they was the ones that show the highest rate of STIs. But again, on the other hand, like Dr. Willis stated, there's so many people that don't even go and get treatment, don't even report it. And that includes that other cohorts of individuals, heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, down low, all of them have to be included in that population. So, with that being said, it lets us to wonder how accurate is a prevention tool if it is only tested on a segment of a population.
Mhm.
And as we said, what about the heterosexual women who face high risk of chlamydia and gonorrhea?
Mhm.
And what about the bisexual and pansexual individual, as well as the DLs, whose sexual network crosses multiple communities?
Mhm.
So it leaves us to wonder, because everyone is not included in that study, the accuracy of the statistical findings.
Right.
So,
And I appreciate this forum, this format, because part of what we do is to try to enlighten the community, so that
exactly.
we have a place where we can, talk about things openly,
Yes.
because it's so many um taboos, or things that can't be spoken about. So we have to have a open line of communication.
Communication.
We're not diagnosing anyone here. We
Nope.
just want to be able to encourage individuals to talk to their healthcare provider,
Right.
be tested, participate in medical studies.
Yes. Providing them that the information that they need to make these informed decisions.
Correct.
Okay. And as we said, without having a broader study, um, the risk of creating solution that do not reflect the full picture of human sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And when research leaves people out, prevention leaves them out as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, while Doxy-PEP looks promising, we must push for inclusivity in research, as Dr. Willis was talking about, to make sure it benefits, that the benefit from it, as well as the risk, are understood across the spectrum of sexual health.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the CDC, the current guideline from the CDC regarding Doxy-PEP, they recommend for men who have sex with men and transgender women with a history of STI in the past year. So that's who it all is recommended for right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because those other cohorts have not been included in the study. So right now the CDC is only recommended it for men who have sex with men and transgender women's with a history of STI in the past year. So again, think about this. If you have say for instance, you have a DL woman that has sex with a man who has sex with a man who has sex with a man, or transgender women, where does that leave that down low person?
Mm-hmm.
They can't get the treatment. So it leaves us in a dilemma here. So it is
Mm-hmm.
not yet broadly recommended to heterosexual population. It's not recommended for pregnant people, and it's not even recommended for those with chronic health issue because the studies are not there yet. Okay, and that is both the strength and the weakness of this rollout. It is targeted to those at the highest documented risk, but it leaves out a lot of people who may also benefit from it. And this is where equality come in or equity comes in. If science expands, will prevention expand? Will the heterosexual, the bisexual, and the pansexual community be included? Or will this become one more intervention that reinforces disparities in sexual health? And Dr. Willis, would you like to, it's optional. Would you like to comment on the disparities in when it comes to sexual health?
I think there are disparities against, of course, races. There's health disparities. There's socioeconomic status. There health disparities. Also, um, gender. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
where one identifies themselves as, you have health disparities that can be, as a result of that, and it's unfortunate. um I don't think
Yes.
more research needs to be done,
Agreed.
just on health disparities themselves. That's a
Agreed.
whole,
Yes.
I mean, we could talk every
Yes.
night on health
Exactly.
disparities by
Ex-
themselves, you
exactly.
know.
So true.
um
So
but
true.
yeah, yet another reason why we're here,
Exactly.
because and why we need to be here, why we've made this commitment to be here, is because
Yes.
knowledge is power. I do believe that.
Knowledge is power.
um Knowledge is power. And because sometimes you have to go to the people,
True.
especially if people aren't coming to you.
Exactly. Exactly. So true. So true. And thank you, Dr.
So
Willis.
yeah. Hmm.
All right. So now here is the elephant in the room. And Dr. Willis talked about it and we kind of mentioned it a little earlier too, and that is antibiotic resistance. And as Dr. Willis said, doxycycline is a widely used antibiotic. However, overuses of this antibiotic could accelerate resistant strands of gonorrhea and other bacteria. So, in other words, when we're trying to fix a problem, we could be inadvertently creating another problem. Now,
Hmm.
the World Health Organization and CDC are already warning that antimicrobial resistance is one of the top global threats of our time. So, we are faced with a trade off, Dr. Willis. Use it now to reduce infection or hold back to preserve antibody effectiveness. Either way, we need surveillance, caution, and responsibility. What say you, Dr.
Right.
Willis?
Again, most importantly, um, not advocating one way or another, but if you're going to, like the old folks used to say, be out there doing the do, protect yourself.
Protect yourself. Exactly.
Um, First and foremost. And so Secondly, with the amount, with the things that are transpiring, and I don't want to get myself in trouble. The things that are transpiring in our world and the changes that are taking place,
Yes.
that we don't, there's so many changes taking place within healthcare
Correct.
that
Correct. Correct.
we are constantly dealing with new infections, disease processes, disease
Yes.
processes that we haven't had to deal with for 40, 50 years
Years.
are
Exactly.
reoccurring.
Yes.
So we have to be able to be knowledgeable and open
Correct.
to um, new advances such as this, but we have to be cautious
Cautious.
as
Have to
well.
be cautious. Yes. Yes. And as
Uh,
Dr. Willis said, in the current climate that is around healthcare right now, we have to provide information that is evidence based. We have to provide information that is done through scientific research with the
mhm,
current climate around healthcare. So that's why He Cares is here. We're here to provide you with scientific research and evidence based uh, to make sure that you are receiving the correct
mhm,
information so that you can make an informed decision regarding your health and well-being and the health and well-beings of your loved ones as well. Okay. Now, we talked about that issue about the resistant concern. Another issue, and we talked about it, we touched on it a little bit, is equality.
mhm,
Will only those who have private insurance or in urban area have access to this new Doxy-PEP? And how do we reach rural communities of colors or the uninsured who already face, as Dr. Willis says, disproportionate STI burdens?
mhm,
And this is
mhm,
one way here, this help talk. So, with that being said, please take a minute, share this video, like, tag somebody. This is how we reach rural communities and communities of color, and as well as the uninsured. Like,
mhm,
tag, and share. Okay. And also, are we designing prevention for everyone or only a selected group? These are things we need to think about. So equality means making sure new science does not widen old gaps. And when we
mhm,
talk about those old gaps, we're talking about, as Dr. Willis was talking about, those health disparity things,
mhm,
socioeconomic, uh,
mhm,
access, all those things are important. Okay.
mhm,
So here's what we can take away from this. Doxy-PEP works. We know that in the population that has been studied so far. But what about those populations that have not been included in that study? Resistance, it is real.
mhm,
Prevention must be paired with stewardship,
mhm,
being responsible. Inclusion, it does matter. All groups deserve to be represented in research and prevention, all groups.
mhm,
And lastly, something that Dr. Willis talked about earlier, safer sex practice, condoms, testing, communication, abstinence. All of these remains the foundation to preventing the spread and the contraction of STIs.
correct.
Science science is giving us the tool, but equality is what will determine if they change outcome for everyone. Okay, and Dr. Willis, you want to say something? I'm going to start preparing
I
our
did want to.
question and answer session.
Okay. I did want to mention one thing, that vaccines are available for hepatitis A, B, and mpox, as well as HPV.
Okay.
So I
And
just wanted to stress that, for HPV,
mhm,
human papilloma virus, it can you can receive that vaccine in some instances up to age 45.
correct,
But in most instances, we like to do that when the individual is younger, in their teen years,
correct.
because we're trying to uh, vaccinate them prior to any possible exposure. So that is the reasoning behind it. So I just want to mention that, just a couple of things.
All right. And Dr. Willis, I'm glad you said something about the hepatitis vaccine. Um, just the other day, I can't remember which news channel it was, but they were getting ready to have a discussion panel on not recommending the hepatitis vaccines. So
Mm.
that's,
Yes, for children under 4.
yeah.
So that I heard that they're
So
looking at that. So
yeah, and it
yes,
and so it's
at any rate,
the
we'll leave that there.
yeah, yes. As we said,
We'll leave that
in this current
there.
healthcare environment, things are changing every day. Um, New regulations are coming out. New policies are coming out. So that's why we're here on Health Talk. We want to try to keep you up to date with what's going on within the healthcare arena and to provide you, as we said earlier, with information that is both scientific research and evidence based research so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to your health and your well being, as well as the health and well being of your family. All right.
Correct.
So with that being said, now this is the part that the audience can participate in, and Dr. Willis and we might even answer a couple of questions ourselves. What say you, Dr. Willis?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. The first question is, how do you feel about antibiotics being used this way for prevention? How do you feel about antibiotics being used this way for prevention? And Dr. Willis, I think I asked you first the last time. I'll go first.
Okay.
My feelings is, as I said before, it does not include the entire population. It only focuses on a specific segment of the population. Granted, I get it and I understand why that particular segment of population were targeted, because it is reported and documented that they have the highest instance of STI. But as Dr. Willis said, there's another large portion of individuals outside of that segment of people, as well as inside that segment of people, that do not report or do not get treatment. And as Dr. Willis said, some of them uh, uh, take the symptoms that they have as being something else. So they don't go and get the treatment. They don't seek the medical attention that they need. So my feelings is, if it's going to be used as a preventative measure, every population or every sector of the population needs to be included in the research phase.
Correct.
So again, how
I
do you
agree.
feel? Thank you, Dr. Willis. How do
I
you
agree.
feel about antibiotics being used this way for prevention? All right, the next one is, on a scale of 1 to 10, How concerned are you about antibiotics resistance? On a scale of 1 to 10, how
9.
concerned are you about antibiotic resistance? Dr. Willis, you say a 9. I,
9.
I agree with you on that. I agree
Yes.
with you on that. Um, because there
Currently
was
in our climate, I'm very concerned about that.
very concerned. And
Very
Dr. Willis,
concerned.
correct me if I'm wrong. I may not be remembering correctly, but I believe at one time with the use of Cipro, it was about to become to that level that they were
Hmm.
building up the resistance with the
Hmm.
usage of Cipro, because Cipro was being used for, again, it's a broad spectrum antibody as well, and it was being overused. So
And really, all antibiotics are being overused. I mean,
that's
think
true.
about the amount of people that with a sinus infection. I remember years ago, we were giving everybody augmentin,
Augment.
amoxicillin
Yes. Yes.
for
Yes.
sinus infection. Now we've learned that there's other ways to possibly treat those symptoms by not
True.
always pushing antibiotics first.
True.
So,
True.
but at any rate,
Yeah. So it's something to think about, with the uses of antibiotics. And if you go back and look at some of our other segment that we presented here on our podcast, uh, if you take care of your body and build up your immune system, it can help
mhm,
minimize and decrease the potential of um, getting certain infections. So
mhm,
you take care of your body, and your body will in turn take care of you.
mhm,
Okay. All right. So our next question is, do you feel that doxy-prep should be expanded beyond the groups it studied? Why or why not? And I think I've shared and
you,
voiced my concern on that one. So, do you feel doxy-prep should be expanded beyond the groups that they've already studied? Why or why not? And again, I think I've expanded on that enough. But okay. And the last question is, what would equi- what would equitable rollout look like in your community? What would it look like to roll out doxy-prep equally in your community? Okay? Think about it. Again, these questions, they're in the chat area, they're in the comment section. Please leave us a response down in that comment chat section. If this forum is a place that you don't feel comfortable responding to these questions, again, you can go to our YouTube website and you can respond to Dr. Willis and I there. We would love to hear your thoughts on these questions. These questions, as I always say, these are not questions that are meant to be judgmental. They're not to try to embarrass anybody or to make anybody feel ashamed. These are reflection questions that causes us to, think, to do some critical thinking and some, you know, reflection. And your answer could help shape the future of prevention. So leave us that comment.
correct.
Okay, we would love to hear that. Now, at He Cares Training and Education Center LLC, we believe knowledge is prevention. And as Dr. Willis say, knowledge is power. That's why we here at He Cares Training and Education Center LLC, we offer public health education workshops on emergent strategies such as doxy-prep. We also provide faith-based conversation to help break stigma around sexual health. We also support equity focused consulting. So organization do not leave community behind, because prevention without equity is not public health, it is privilege. Dr. Willis, anything you want to say in the lines of He Cares Training and Education Center?
If there's something that you all, a topic that you would like for us to cover or discuss or have questions about, also put that in the chat, or email us. Let us know. Let us come out to you. If you have a health ministry at your church and you're looking for
Yes.
some guests to come out and just have an open discussion. We
Yes.
welcome that as well. So give us a call, email us. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Dr. Willis. Thank you so much. And that is true. We're here for you. And as in the way of, let me see if I can get it pulled up here. We do have an event that Dr. Willis and I will be hosting uh, coming up in November. I'm trying to get it pulled up so I can let you all see it. Bear with me here just a minute. I think I have it. So, uh, and we want you all to, if you don't mind, to come out to this event. I think I got it, Dr. Willis. Let me make sure. Screen, da da da. There it is. Let me see. I hope you all can see it. I hope it does come up on the screen. Uh, Dr. Willis, are you able to see it on the screen?
I am.
All right. So we have an event coming up on November the 1st, 2025. He Cares Training Education Center, LLC, in collaboration with Christ the King Deliverance Ministry, will be presenting Faith and Mental Health, a trauma-informed wellness session. We're breaking the silence, where you can find healing and where we build hope. This event will take place on November the 1st, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the location is 308 Carter Street, Timmonsville, South Carolina, 29161. In this here event, we will learn how faith and mental health connects. We will learn how to understand trauma and stress in your daily life. We will also have some actual healing exercise and coping strategy that we would do some activities. We're also going to provide you with some light refreshment and fellowship. And we're going to provide you with some free community resources, with hotlines and local services for mental health. Now, we're asking for a contribution of $10, and this will help cover refreshment and materials. But remember, no one is turned away. So if you are interested, go ahead and scan that QRS code that is on your screen with the flyer, and it would take you to register for the event. Again, although we say that no one is turned away, we do encourage a community contribution, but no one is returned away. But remember, for those who do not register, if you do as a walk-in, it's on a, you know as much as the facility will allow occupancy. So if you want to attend, the best way to make sure you have a place is to go ahead, scan that QR code, and go ahead on and register, so we can get a good head count to make sure we have enough material, to make sure we have enough refreshment for you. All right. So we want to present that to you tonight, uh, to ask you to come and join us for this event. All right. All right. Dr. Willis, anything you want to add about the event?
No,
Or
it's been a pleasure. I'm excited about it. Anytime I
yes.
get to come together with my brother, It's
Yes.
always a joy. And we
Always.
we, we count
Always.
it not robbery.
Yes.
Count it not robbery.
All right,
More
family.
than grateful.
Yes.
All right.
Doxy-PEP is a glimpse into the future of STI prevention. But the choices we make now about who qualifies, how it is studied, how it is shared, will decide whether it is a tool for health equity or health disparity. Proverbs 4 and 7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all that getting, get understanding. Tonight,
Mhm.
wisdom means recognizing both the promise and the caution of this new science. And that's what we're here for. All right? Listen, do us a favor. Dr. Willis and I want you to please take a quick moment, go to our Health Talk Facebook page. If you're not following us there, follow us on our Health Talk Facebook page. Also, if you're not subscribed to our Health Talk YouTube channel, please head over there and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit that bell so you can get notification when we upload new material or when we go live. All right? And it means so much to us. And do us a favor. Please do us a favor. Like, tag, share. Like, tag, share. Like, tag, share. Like, tag, share, and subscribe. Okay? Again, like, tag, share, and subscribe. Like, tag, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget, give us a thumbs up. Please. It means so much to us. All right? We thank you so much for joining us here on Health Talk tonight. Share this episode with someone who cares about prevention, equality, and the future of public health. Dr. Willis, any last words?
Amen. I'm
Amen.
gonna try not to dream about like, shares, and subscribing tonight. No, I'm just kidding. You all have a blessed night.
Y'all have a blessed night. All right, until tomorrow night, I'm Dr. Corbett along with Dr. Willis, reminding you health is hope and hope is healing. The Lord's will, we will see you back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. God bless.